14 historical figures who were incredibly good-looking. 1. Barbara Bush. We're used to seeing photos of Mrs. Bush in old age, but she was quite the looker in younger years. She was born Barbara Pierce in New York. Her dad owned a company that published Red Book and Macalls. 2. Lord Byron. The great English poet died of illness at 36. Byron's good looks were famous during his lifetime. Still, he weighed 194 pounds at one point. At 5 feet 8 inches tall, that's kind of a lot. 3. Thomas Edison. The famous American inventor is usually depicted at an older age. He lived a really long life, so it's understandable, but there are still photos of him as a younger man. 4. Charlotte Bronte. Charlotte was the oldest of the 3 Bronte sisters. She epitomized the beauty standards of the Victorian era. She was incredibly small and frail, under 5 feet tall. Her fair skin was considered very attractive. 5. Harry Houdini. The eminent escape artist was also an attractive guy. He married at 20 and stayed faithful until his death. Sadly, Houdini died after a stunt. He challenged a guy to hit him in the solar plexus. This caused an internal rupture that killed Houdini at 52. 6. Bessie Coleman. Coleman was a pioneering American aviator. She couldn't get a license because she was black, so she went to France and became the first female pilot. Coleman died in a plane crash at 34. 7. Hunter S. Thompson. Thompson invented gonzo journalism. The large-as-life author was a cult figure. He rose to prominence after writing a book on Hell's Angels. Tragically, Thompson killed himself at 67. Reportedly, he hated getting old. 8. Bonnie Parker. She was one half of the notorious Bonnie and Clyde duo. Most people imagine her as Faye Dunaway. Dunaway played Bonnie in the 1967 movie, but Parker was quite a looker in her own right. She was gunned down at 24, along with Clyde Barrow. 9. Frederick Douglass. Douglass was a legendary American abolitionist. Most portraits show him as an elderly bearded man, but he was quite dapper in his younger years. 10. Mark Twain. Here's another guy you can't imagine without a white mustache. Twain was often photographed in his later years. Understandably, there are fewer pictures of him in his youth. What a shame though. 11. Johannes Brahms. Brahms was one of the premier romantic composers. Most portraits of him show a bearded, stately gentleman, but as a young man, he'd have been the teenage heartthrob today. 12. Gayatri Devi. The Indian princess was famously beautiful. She was only a princess for 9 short years, but her fame lived on. Vogue once named her the most beautiful woman in the world. 13. Charlie Chaplin. Chaplin without a hat and mustache. Impossible. And yet here he is, as a young stage actor, unrecognizable, right? 14. Princess Fawzia Fawad of Egypt. Fawzia Fawad looked like a Hollywood star. She was the first wife of the Shah of Iran, but her queendom only lasted for 7 years. She spent her later years living a quiet family life in Egypt.